Hi friends, it is Sylvia with Running with Needles and Scissors, and it is Sunday afternoon. It is almost 4 p.m. and I've finally carved out some time to do a video. I was going to do one 2 weeks ago and just couldn't get to it that Sunday. Last weekend I was up visiting my dad, so there was none of that. My stepmom took the opportunity to go visit her sister down in Munich. My dad really can't spend extended time alone. He just is, he's very healthy, but he had a really bad stroke many years ago because he had a hole in his heart that nobody knew about, and a blood clot escaped and lodged back here in his brain. So he has still a lot of balance problems and tends to tip over. So it's not a good scene. Anyway, so somebody does need to be there. And so I went up and visited and stayed from Thursday through Sunday. And my stepmom, like I said, took the opportunity to go visit her sister in Munich, who is battling cancer. And so that was pretty important, and I'm so glad I was able to do that, and she was able to see her sis. And so I'll do it again in October, but I'll stay longer this time because I wasn't thinking. So I'll go back up first week in October and stay the week and take care of him, and let her, if things are still as they are now, and then she can go back, visit whatever, girlfriend, sister, whatever she wants to do, so, and get a little bit of a break. But it was nice seeing him. And the weekend before that, Rob and I ventured out and we went to see some castles and the Zweigart Factory. And I did take a video, and I haven't even looked at it. If it's any good, I will stick it in probably at the end, or somewhere. But so we went to see those two castles. One was Schloss Hohenfels, and the other one was Burg Liechtenstein. So we have Schloss, which is the castle, and the Burg, which is a more defensive installation, but it was also a castle. I mean, it's beautiful. And and the first one, we had to really climb stairs because, shuttles are for losers. So I'm like, no, we'll walk and take the stairs. And oh my gosh, it was, so they have so you do, you walk uphill on the path, and then you do the first set of stairs, and there's a shuttle stop right there because people they probably realize, people give up right there, and they're like, oh, we're taking the shuttle. But Rob and I persevered. And so then we got to the end of the stairs, and it was blocked, and it said detour. And I was like, are you kidding me? And so we had to turn around and go back, not down the stairs, but go back down a path, and we were going down. And I told my husband, I said, we're going to have to reconquer this territory again. And then we went up the regular road up to the castle. And it was a beautiful castle, and they have a long, illustrious family tree, which was painted in the entry. It went all the way around, and there's still empties up there because that family still owns the castle. And Queen Victoria, one of her daughters, was married into that family, and I think out of that family also came the Empress of, the Kaiser and the Empress of Germany. And she also lived there for a while. And I saw her, so we got to go in and walk through. We took turns because we had the dogs with us, so I went in and then Rob went in. But one of the rooms we walked through was the living room. And there were lots of family portraits hung all over this castle. But her living room, so it was the Empress's living room. It had blue velvet chairs and sofas, and they were all small, and they looked hideously uncomfortable, and writing desk. And I was looking at the chairs and the sofa, I'm like, oh my gosh, you had to sit on that, to read and stitch and write and talk. And I'm like, how uncomfortable. And this was a nice castle. This was built, it was built 3 times. So when they get sacked, of course, they get razed down to the ground. And so it had been rebuilt 3 times. The third time was in the 1800s. And So it was quite modern and very beautiful and fun. And we stayed up there and had cake and coffee, which was really nice. We spent the night in a nearby town. It was a university town, or is a university town. That was really nice. I like that little town. It has a really old center, and it was super charming. And the next day we went to Burg Liechtenstein, which is in Schwabenland. So we have the states, like I live in the state of Hessen, but Schwabenland I think is just an area. And they have certain like regional cuisines, and we stayed for lunch, and we had lentils with homemade little dumplings. A spätzle, those of you who know the German cuisine know spätzle, they're like noodle dumplings, and like frankfurters with mustard, and the lentils have a little bit of vinegar in them, so that's a little different than we would cook it here, but it was so delicious. And the little Berg castle, it wasn't that little actually, so it was built in different stages, and there was a lot of defense stuff all around it. And then the castle itself, the living quarters of the royal family or whoever lived there. We did not go into this one. We just stayed on the grounds. It was built up to the edge of a cliff. I mean, it was like the wall of the building and the cliff just kept going. And it was so impressive. It just looked like this thing was sitting in the air. And if you look on my Instagram, which is HurryMom26, I have some pictures on there. So that was a really nice weekend. Of course, all this running around and traveling cuts into my stitching time, which is no biggie. But so I didn't make too much progress. I did take a few of my Mania projects with me and worked on those, and I got a few finished. So I'm going to show you those. I finished. Let me see if I need paper. Here's my paper. So I finished I didn't bring the pattern because it's packed away already, because I plan to stitch it again. This is for a friend. So this is the heartstring sampleries, half of, this was a collaboration with Plum Street Sampler. She has another half, but I just did this one half. So it's a token for my friend, and I'm going to finish this and send it to a friend who had a birthday, and I'm behind, but it is done, and I will get it finished hopefully next weekend. I finished, these all don't have their patterns with them, sorry. I hope you can see this okay. Rosy Life by Bent Creek, and the kit, this was a kit, it came with some burlap linen, which I wasn't going to use, so I used a 40 count, I think this is cedar plank, and I know exactly how I'm going to finish this. I didn't iron it, so my little edges are rolling because I held it in my hand when I stitched it. But I'm telling you, this chicken, that was quite the endeavor. I thought, oh, I'll just, whip that out. No, there was no whipping on this. I stitched and stitched and stitched and stitched. But anyway, so it is done. And the other thing I finished was this little shepherd's bush kit. Every heart beats true. I'm not sure this is the title of it, but it's close to that. So it's the light is washing it out a little bit. It's super cute. I've got the buttons on it, and I just need to finish it into the pin cushion. This was also a lot of fun to stitch, but good golly, it just went on forever. I mean, I was stitching and stitching and stitching and stitching, and there was always, the little doohickeys, the hearts, and at one point or another, I was reading the instructions, and it said, and the eagle's feet, you have to do this. I'm like, where is the eagle? Well, right there. I totally didn't see him. But it's done. So hopefully next time I can show you some FFOs. And I am super close to finishing and I did bring the pattern on this one. Oh, there it is. Today is a good day to have a good day by Bent Creek, another Bent Creek. So I'm stitching this for my daughter who doesn't know I do Flosstube, and that's really good because I don't need her feedback. So I just have to finish this down there, the D and the line. This heart is in the wrong place, so I gotta scoot it out a little bit, and then I have two little round balls to stitch, and then it's done, which I will do after our video because I really want to get it done. And I think it turned out really, really super cute. I'm contemplating finishing, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I do know. I'm going to do a flat finish on this, but for her to hang up. So I'm not gonna frame it. I stitched her something one time and it was a lot of work. It was that Little House Neighborhood. Well, she can't find it. So we'll leave it at that. So she's just getting, you know, a little bit. Okay, and so I've been doing a rotation, of, I was doing like 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. So 4 projects, 3 days each. Sometimes then I would reverse the order and go back. So the last project got 6 days, and then 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, another 3 days. And then sometimes I just mess around and rotate in a different way. But I'm sticking to the 4 projects. What I did not bring down is Sparrow because I didn't make much project on it. It got 3 days, that's it. So I finished the house on, I had one little section, or I had the little house left on the right-hand side, and I was working on finishing the cartouche up there. So when I went a little further, I'll bring it. But I worked on a little bit more on Fracture Friends, and I did a lot of fill-in. I finished the row of alphabet up here. I finished all this fill-in up there. I think the house right here still needs a couple of stitches of orange. I ran out of on the thread, and I just wasn't going to start a new one. And like I said, I'm filling in here, and I've started going across here. So in order to get this completed up here, I just have to come up to this line, up to this edge here, and fill in the corners. But that will take a little bit. That's a lot of fill-in. But there they are. I love this. Just really love this. I have picked, this was all anchor are the called fors, and I've just substituted a few, not all of them, a few variegated, so that it has a little bit more movement in it. So there's that, really enjoying that. But now that it's moved to the evening, it's a little bit more of a challenge. My eyes aren't as perky as they are in the mornings. Then I worked on Gis Léger, which I love. I really, really love this sampler. I'm not, setting any world records, or probably am on the other side of the spectrum. Not fast, but super slow. So here is where we're at. As I finished the border all the way across, and so she's not a small girl. She's a substantial sampler. She would be on my list of 50 if I had to put her on there. And well, you know what? You're really enjoying the back view. I'm like, what is with my stitching? Yep, it's the back. Let's turn her around. Good golly. You probably noticed because she was backwards for you, but she was right side for me. So, okay, looking a little better. Geez, I should start over, but I'm not going to. All right. So, and then I finished the L down below, the Y over here. Here's this Y, the L, and started on the K. Like I said, I did the border. That looks better. And I rolled it a little bit. So, just kind of plodding along. Those little squirrel, the fancy letters, they take a while. They really do. And I'm working on Dutch Steps Duo and the Dutch Steps of Life by GGR, and I'm just loving this. Again, not breaking any speed records here, just enjoying the journey. So I switched frames, and she's now on the Millennium frame, which is working so much better for me. This is the new one that came in. So worked on my, but so you see, so really from the last time I was kind of here, and I had the outline done, and then I just filled in all the brick outlines and started filling in, and did a little flag, and my monkey got a little love. Seriously, 3 days, especially if it's a weeknight, that's all I'm getting done. So it's gonna be a long haul. It's kind of, I'm struggling with the fact that I really want to start a ton of things. I want to stitch on so many things, but I am staying pretty satisfied with what I'm working on now, and also the Mania pieces that I'm finishing and then getting to picking up a new one, not a new one, but you know, working on another one when I finished what I've just pulled out. Seems to be kind of keeping my craziness at bay. Speaking of craziness, my stash acquisitions are slowly making their appearance, and like everything or a lot of stuff came at once. I was like, oh, oh dear. So when I show some of it, I won't show all of it this time around because that party is over. No more big old stash acquisitions. But so, you know, you've heard me talk about my order from December that, you know, geez, how long could it take? I finally got an email saying, we've got stuff to send you. And I'm like, well, let's just sort through it because I have replaced some because it's been so long. And so we did. And then they were good about just sending me the rest. And my March order from the attic, or I already gotten a portion of it and the rest of it came, and that was from March. So we had December order came, March order came, an April order came. You know, that was while, you know, the world is ending and I got to buy everything. Oh, I got an order that went to, so I ordered something from Julie from Reflections Stitching and Framing because I just really think she has a super eye for color. I love to watch her chart of the day. I don't always listen to everything. I just kind of scroll through and see what chart she has, and if it interests me, I'll watch it. And I love her substitutions and her fabric choices. Anyways, so she got me on a Shepherd's Song from Plum Street Sampler, and I forgot to bring the chart down. So I'm probably not going to show this, but I'll just tell you the story. This thing went from the U.S. to Bahrain because I'm like, where is it? Why is it taking so long? And I didn't have a tracking number. And so I emailed her and I said, hey, you know, it still hasn't shown up yet. Could you just check on that? And she did. And she's like, it's in Bahrain. And I'm going, why? I'm not in Bahrain. I'm in Germany. Well, she couldn't answer it. So it just got missorted. And it just took a long way around the world and finally showed up here. So I was very happy. I'm just going to set that aside because it's sitting right on top. And when I pull the pattern next time, I will show you the fabric choice, which is a little different, and the floss. Oh, the linen insanity continues. So I don't know. I can't stop, evidently. I got a honkin' fat half, I think it looks like, or a yard. No. Well, maybe it is. I have no idea. Anyways, of Russian tea cake. Sometimes Casey Hewitt from Hewitt Samplers puts some fabric up on Stash Unload. And it's always so tempting. And so I got this one. I'm not sure if and this one. Two separate orders. You can see the difference. So this is Russian tea cake, and this is Sycamore Seed Pod 5363, because I want to stitch everything itsy bitsy with Tudor silks. But of course then I bought the 37 count. I don't know what that was about. But it will find a home with one of my projects, and we'll see. But it's beautiful linen. I mean, really pretty. And the feel is really great. Oops. Okay. Then this is May, I believe. I haven't even gotten my June order yet from Victorian Motto, so it's on its way somewhere. Ugh. And this is Heritage Sampler, 1x40 count, 1x46 count. You can see a little bit, one's a little darker than the other, but it's a really nice color. This is showing pretty true. It's got a little gray-green tint, so. I also got flosses, which are, oh, here they are. So, let's see if I can, seriously, this box is so full. Oh, here they, okay. What is this? Oh. All right. So maybe some of you who've been with Victorian Motto can give me some advice. So I'm getting half bright and half primitive. And I already pulled some out to use as I was kitting up something. Seriously, sorry about the glare, I'm gonna pull them out. But would you recommend I continue with that? I mean, you've seen kind of what I stitch. So here's the, ooh, okay, that orange. I don't think I'll ever use it. But I mean, there were colors in here. This is the bright one that I thought were really pretty, and the blue. And then this is the prim. Like I said, two of them have already been snagged for something else. It feels fantastic, fantastic. And she's so reasonable. Okay, that came. And then, there you go. I'm thinking something else is missing. Okay, but this is Color and Cotton. Look at those pretty colors. I'm thinking I also snagged some out of these. I did when I was kitting up something. So they're not complete anymore. Okay, then what else would be interesting? Well, here's some 40 count platinum, which I probably bought at the Zweigart Factory. Not this one, but I ordered this in December. So 40 count platinum, pretty color. I'll use it. Then I showed you guys a picture of teasing you about what I got, or that the country sampler stuff came. And you've seen this, the Dolly Fowls. It's not my color palette, to be honest, but it does have its charms. It's a biggie. It's a biggie, and I'm not so a fan of like a little here, a little there, but still, I'm gonna hang on to it for a little bit and contemplate. This is 36 count, I believe it came, and I asked for 40 count, but I think it's 36 count. I asked them to upgrade me to 40 because I prefer that, but it might be 36 count. I'd have to look. I like a little bit more color in my samplers, as you will see when I show you some of my, top 50, 60, 70. I don't know. I'm losing count. Anyways, samplers. I had ordered this pattern in April because if you watched Kindred Stitcher last year, she stitched this in record time, I think. This is Heartstring Samplers Hibernation Day. And she had an old sleigh, I don't know what you call it in English, Schlitten auf German. One of those wood ones with the, like, that you sit on, and it's got the metal tracks. Is that what they call them? Anyways. And so this one's really long, and so she had mounted it on this, set it up on its feet and mounted it on the sitting down, the bench part of it, and put some greenery on it. It was fantastic, and I'm like, I'm gonna do that. The problem is I didn't have an antique-y looking sled, and so I was walking along one day on Major Trash Day. You know how I love Major Trash Day, Sperrmüll, it's what it's called in German, and I saw one, and the truck was there, so it was a life or death situation. And so I'm hurrying up. I got the dogs with me, and they throw that sleigh into the truck, and I'm like, oh, and a sled. I think it's a sled. Anyway, so I asked them, I said, do you think you guys could pull that back out? And they're looking at me like crazy lady, but they were like, sure. And so they pulled it back out, and they handed it to me, and that sucker was heavy. It was so heavy, and I was like, oh, goodness gracious. So I'm walking home, hanging on to that thing, and it's obvious. I mean, you got to lay down your pride. You really do, because I have to walk through town, and and I'm dragging all this stuff with me. So I'm like the dogs, like, do not pull me. I'm hanging on to this thing, but I got it home sweating, and so that's my plan, 10-year plan, is I'm gonna stitch this baby and put it on there. Now I had the pattern, and Country Sampler will send you their conversion without the pattern if you tell them you already have the pattern. So this is their conversion. Now, I will have to say, I'm a little unhappy with, this is supposed to be the green. It's super brown, not my jam. So I'm going to substitute at least the green, and I'll critically look. Oh, this is also green, I think. It's not, I mean, you're seeing it accurately. This is what it looks like. So it's like, yeah, lots of brown right here. I'll probably put a truer green in there and mess with the other colors. It is what it is sometimes with the overdyed. That's just how it goes. But I'm excited to stitch this. And this is a, from the smell of it, it's an R&R. Definitely. It smells very distinct. R&R has a distinct smell. So, as does XJU Designs, or XJU Designs. I don't know who pronounces it differently. Okay, so there's that from Country Sampler. Oh, and this one. So when it first came out, this is Grace Bridges by Stacey Nash. When it first came out, I was like, it's not my deal, not my thing. And then I kept seeing it behind Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. And it was driving me nuts. And I finally like, okay, I'm going to look for it. And then you couldn't find it anywhere. It's gone. And so the only place I found it was Country Sampler. And I'm like, yeah, throw it in. So, and it's a big one. Again, it is 273 by 382, which then it boots it right into the major sampler list. But it doesn't look like it has much of a border. And it's pretty open. So it's probably doable. That was Country Sampler. Let's see here. Okay. What am I going to show you? Oh, from a friend. A sweet friend of mine just really did a major de-stash. And I am so proud of her. So she would post them when I was sleeping, which was a big bummer for me. And she blew out lakeside linens and all kinds, and major stash, major chart de-stash. And as I dig through here, I'm looking for a particular chart that I got from her, and I'm not sure where it went to. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we got it. So what I snagged from her is a Macintosh sampler, and so there's still a website for Macintosh samplers, but this one's not on there anymore. There's a number of them that are not on there anymore. You can contact her. I have bought directly from her. But this one. So this is the Isabella Much sampler. There it is. I don't know. I love the guy. What is this? This is right here. Here we have the only sampler that has a velociraptor in it, because that's what it looks like. And the guy is fighting for his life with his gun there. So, yes, I had boys. I watched all the Jurassic Park stuff. And we still, when we walk and there's a meadow, we still go, don't go into the tall, stay out of the tall grass, or something silly like that. So, anyways, and this one, I'm a big fan of Examplers from the Heart, and I've never seen this. I got a ton of Examplers from the Heart. And this is the windmill sampler. And of course, because I'm stitching the windmill sampler right now, this one's gonna be its little sister. So I think it's super cute. Totally different color scheme. And I love it. So that was from my friend's stash. And then I still snagged some more, just a few smaller things on her last chart blowout. That was the end, so she's done. Okay, then, oh, I don't know where this one came from. Well, I know this one came from my December order, American Homestead Sewing Set. And I know these LaHaye things are hard to find. Is that? Yeah, it's LaHaye. And I did find it. So Hobby House has a nice selection of wooden finishing things. So that is what I ordered this month, is this little guy. because you know I'm going to jump right on this and get this done. So I need the tray, ASAP. Here are the remaining Noah's Ark. So let me not embarrass myself again with the Roman numerals. This is 6 to the best of my knowledge, right? V is 5 and one behind it is 6. And the others are in my box. Let's see here. Or are they down here? Oh, here they are. Okay, so we'll start. Here's the one. That's so cute. And so they will go into that. I've started this project over one. And I've got the freebie done, which is on Paulette's site. And I was waiting for one, and it came now. Here's 2. So cute. 3 I have. Here is 4. And obviously 5 I have. And then 6. And 7. 7 I have. So these are going where they belong. Stash, unload. These 2. I just think these are so much fun. Will I ever get to them? I'm not sure. Maybe certain months. So I think I have 2 of the months, and I picked these 2 up. I would not do them with the buttons or look for something smaller. Like maybe I would just put a little flower button because I'm not stitching over 2, and this is calls for 32 count. So I'm trying to think of what I'm going to show you guys. Fun stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff. Oh, love this. Erica Michaels. This is a 2-in-1. It's such a good deal. So you get this, and I think you get the silk gauze for this one, and you get the pattern for this guy. And I love the verse. You are beautiful. I'm reading it backwards. You are beautiful, for you are, there's a ghost A here. Up here. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so, and this came from JT's Stitching Corner. She puts summer stuff sometimes. She has an Etsy shop, and she sometimes puts stuff on Stash Unload, and for very reasonable. Okay, I'm going to show you one more. Ooh, where did this come from? Well, I'm going to show you what I got from the attic. One thing. I'll show you one thing that I got from the attic. Oh, here's the rest of my color and cotton. Where's this coming from? Okay, here's the rest of my color and cotton order for the month. So that goes there. I saw this finished in the newsletter, and I also saw Jean working on it when I was there for summer school last year, and I've loved this one and really want to do it. And so it's the Maria Cerrone 1830 by Lindsay Lane Design, and this is part 2. There are 5 of them. Part 2. How pretty is that? But those are not the colors I'm doing it. So these go in the middle. It's kind of like this. Let me find part 3. Oh, part 3. Here you go. See, now they've changed the color. But if you want to do them together, oopsie. Okay, here's part 3. Look at that. I mean, look. Little house, little lady. Looks like wisteria. And then there's, I don't know what that is. Dog, cat, bird. Over on the other side. It's just so pretty. And then on framing these 3 pieces in the middle are 2 longer samplers like this. So they're on each side. You can see some of them are really bright, some of them are not so bright. So I think we're headed in this direction right here. But pretty, just fabulous. And so I asked for the Tudor silk conversion because, you know, I want to kill my eyes completely. And it is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And here is some, this happens to be in the thing, some 56 count Kingston linen. I think this was, oh yeah, no, this is also from Casey Hewitt. I picked that up. So it's a little bit, let's see, that's about the right color. And I think the that'll look really great together. So that is ready to go. I can start that in 5 years when I've finished some of the other stuff. Okay, so the thing is still completely full, but, oh, maybe there's some of the stuff I already showed you. Oh, that's why. I didn't take everything out. That's why it's so full. I'm like, what is going on with this? Last time when I did the video, I carried everything back up, and I usually then process it. That means I enter it to my Xstitch app and then carry it away and put it away. But I didn't do that, so I'm going to sort out, and it'll make me feel a lot better. But there's more in there. Let's talk Zweigart Factory. So we went, like I said, I took a video, and we, you know, of course you have your mask and you have to sanitize before you go into the store. But they are so super friendly and helpful. And I think I had the lady, again, that I had last time. And so when I go in, the first place I go to is actually the specials table. And it's 2 big tables, and there's bolts and bolts of stuff. And if you were a Ada or I think they had a lot of 28 count laying there, and it is so cheap. But I did find some good bargains in my. Okay, so here's the bag, and it's heavy. So I did find some bargains that would interest me. And the first thing. Let me feel it. Yeah, here's the one. Oh, this is 40 count. And let's see, it's like a toasted almond almost. And this was 15 euros a meter. And so it's like a meter wide, which is a little less than a yard? I believe it is. And then, but I think it's a meter 30 that way. So it's way more than a yard. So it's a huge piece. And I think, don't ask me how much I got of this, but this was a special order for a Scandinavian store. Okay, so, I mean, it's folded in half. It's still folded in half. It's huge. I could make a tablecloth out of this, but it was so reasonable. And so this was a special order, she said, and it had a big old sign that I didn't understand on it. I didn't understand the term, so I asked her about it. And so there is some starch in here that won't wash out, and they wanted it that way. And okay, so as Zweigart did this, so this it's substantial feeling, but it's not stiff. You can see that it's not stiff. So I really like that. And you know, I think coffee tea dyeing this baby, or using it just plain like that, it's gonna look fabulous. Oh, the bag's just poking me. Let me turn it a little bit. Okay, so that was bargain number 1. Bargain number 2 was not this. Let me see where it is. Here it is. Oh, good golly. Okay, so if anybody's interested in 56 count Kingston linen, I got it, I think it was 10 euros a meter. And we can just call it a yard because it's really similar. 10 euros, which is 11.50 maybe a meter. I got 2. I was like, give me just 2 because I can dye this stuff myself. And so there's always something with the linen, and you got to ask, like, what's the deal with this? And what had happened with this linen, and let me see if I can find it. And that's why this is German quality, seriously. Instead of going and cutting that or looking to see how much of the linen was affected, and I'm gonna have to look for it because I don't know. Oh, good golly. Is it here somewhere? That's probably on the inside. As you can see, there's lots of linen here. I'm sure this is fun for you guys. I can't find, because it's pretty little. And I do believe this is the one. And I might be mistaken. But I think it is. Okay, yeah, because it's such a huge piece. There was a what they call a fly thread. Not a fly, but a thread that flew in there. And it was blue. And it was only like this long. And somewhere in here is a blue thread. But the rest is perfectly fine. I don't care. I'm gonna dye it anyways, or if not, I'll just work around it. You know, I'll just use, oh, here it is. When you don't expect it. So this looks like a little ink mark. Right here. That's it. And all this big piece. And there was plenty of the bolt left, so. All right, so that's 56 count. If anybody is interested, I have a ton. Okay. I'm gonna put this right here. I got a whole meter of, I think this linen is great. Vintage Country Mocha. We got a lot. So it's awesome. Lots of it. And that's even, I mean, it's really a good deal when you go there. You get quite a good. This is a 40 count, but this is a linen cotton. It is also very, very substantial. It looks more like natural linen or flax, but it's, like I said, it's made up of linen and cotton, and it's 40 count. I said, yes, let me try it. That might have been also on the specials table. This is regular. I think I got half a meter, and then she really cut it generous. So, you know, this would be fat quarter size, but it's a way oversized fat quarter size. So I had picked up some linen for a friend, and she said, just give me neutral colors, and so I gave her a choice, and that's what she picked. Then here is again, why I bought more Kingston linen is beyond me, but this is a different color Kingston linen. So now I have Kingston linen, I have white, I don't know what is the color on here? Cream, probably ecru. So, and you know how fast I stitch, so I'll be burned through this in no time whatsoever. Is this also Kingston linen? I am confused. Can't possibly be. Maybe this is the 46 count linen or the Bristol linen. I don't know, but there it is. I'll have to count. And from the 40 count, I got one of the new colors. Ah! But I love it. Absolutely love it. Turquoise. They had a baby pink, which I wasn't interested in. So Zweigart does more than just produce linen. They produce household textiles, tablecloths, or even fabric for tablecloths, upholstery fabric, towels, sheets. It's very interesting. It's all on the video. They don't just do the linen stuff. So while I was there, I picked up a few other things. So this is a linen. This is super, super thick. It's showing up a little grayer, but it's a little bit more blue. Anyways, I thought either for project bags and then do some wool applique on it, or a table runner and wool applique, or I think I've got enough to do both. Anyways, it's really super nice and was dirt cheap, so I got that. Then I found this upholstery fabric that just was very German, and I thought, wouldn't that make some fun? Okay, so it's some fun project bags. And yes, upholstery fabric is so fun to sew with, but the bags turn out really, really fun. So there's one. Of course, they're not long enough for me to do, this would have to be an envelope style bag because the plastic front zipper bag requires you to do a binding and folding the stuff. 7 layers of upholstery fabric does not look pretty when you do it. So there's this one. Oh, I left the other one upstairs because I was working on it. There's this one, which I thought was super cute. Very Bavarian, kind of. This one's going to be more challenging to cut and match because it's stripy. And it's going to be fun. Don't know. And then I thought this one was pretty interesting. This is super stiff. We'll see. So this is very Bavarian. You got the Edelweiss, you got the deer. And if you flip it, I actually like the inside better and would use it that way from the outside. I'm not sure the deer shows up really well. Oh, it's right there. It's upside down. Anyways, so I wanted to work on some project bags. And you all know that I work for a charity. It's a Christian charity. And we support the persecuted Christian in the countries where they're persecuted. And we do a variety of classes, support. Sometimes it's self-help. That means we help them get a job, we give them training and they can get a better job, or we give them training and give them a loan for their own business, so they can support their family better, especially widows. We teach people to read, of course, then the Bible as well. We do translate a lot of Bibles and distribute those. So there's a variety of things we do. Now, with the pandemic, all that work has stopped because the country shut down, so we couldn't visit people, couldn't do anything. But what has become very apparent is that in places like India and Vietnam and Pakistan and all of Africa, people are starving. People have lost their jobs. They're day laborers. They go out and earn their living that day, and that's all they have. So there is a great deal of suffering and hunger, and it's an emergency. And the persecution of Christians has been stepped up tremendously, especially in Africa. It's really bad, and I don't want to share some of the stories we get. It's really tough to read that and know what's happening. It's bad. Hang on. Anyways, so I can't, be there and help. Of course not. It's not my calling either. And it's way too dangerous. But in Africa, for example, we have completely switched over to emergency aid only. We are just really trying to keep people alive. That's all we're doing in Africa right now. It's that bad. And one thing I can do is, I already donate financially, but I just wanted to do something from my heart. And so I thought, every once in a while I will sew a project bag or two, and I will just offer them up for sale here. They're going to be a flat $30, which will include shipping. Whatever the cost of shipping was, of course, I'll deduct. And whatever the PayPal fee is, I'll deduct. But all the rest of the money, I will donate to either Open Doors, which is the organization I work for. And you can look them up on the internet, Open Doors. They have them. There's an office in the U.S. as well. And there's another organization I would love to support, and I have, and it's a German organization. It's called Heaven's Pearls, and she's a former Open Door person, and she went into retirement, and God wasn't done with what she was supposed to do, so she ended up opening and supporting a school in Pakistan for Christians, especially the Christian brickmakers. And they work, that's almost slavery. Oh, it is slavery. So they work 20 hours a day, 18 to 20 hours. The kids have to help. They don't get to go to school so that they can get their quota done, so they don't get kicked out of their miserable little hut that they live in. These people don't even have beds. They just sleep on the dirt floor. And like I said, the kids don't get to go to school. And so she founded a school at one of the places where there's a lot of brickmaking going on. So the Christian children can go to school. And I just love that. And she's so hands-on. And she supports an orphanage over there. And I believe she does some women's work in Syria and Iraq, where women are, and children as well, are tremendously traumatized by what has been happening there. And so that's the other organization, it's very small, that I would like to support. So I have gotten a couple of bags done, but let me just first start with the bag I made for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which I hit shortly after my last video. Oops, let me pull all that out. And so the bag I want to give away is almost done. That's my life. I'll show it to you. So it's sewn. It's this bag, and I think I showed it last time. And the button that goes on it, which I have not attached yet, it shuts with Velcro. Oh, here's the inside. So there's that, and the button that goes on is this little. It goes on somewhere here. It's this little decorative button that I pulled a ribbon through, and I attached a little thingy-jing. And I will also put a tag on there, somewhere right here, so you can write on what is in the bag. Oops, it looked very crooked, but it's not. I'm just holding it crooked. Oh, okay, there we go. Now, know that I am not a professional seamstress. Much of my sewing is self-taught, and so, you know, bags aren't perfect. They're good, but you know, you'll find a little blip and a bloop at times. I try to do them as good as I possibly can, as well as I possibly can. But like I said, they are not perfect. Now these bags do not, the seams are all, there's no seams. It's all hidden. So they're very nicely done. So your inside is completely clean. At least in that respect, they're very nicely done. They're all very nicely done. Okay, so this goes to this is the giveaway for the 1,000 subscriber, and I don't even know where I'm at now, and you know, I really don't track it, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. I haven't gotten to all of them, but I will. I will swing back to my last video and the videos before that, and I have made it a habit of answering pretty much all the comments. I know that after a while it just isn't possible anymore, but I'm still trying to. And I will put a fat quarter of fabric in there, and you just have to tell me what count you like, and the vast majority of what I have is neutral, but I do have some colors, so you can also give me your color preference, and if I can hit that, I will. Okay, let's finish. So because this is a subscriber giveaway, I have never limited it to subscribers, and you know, I've always just given the giveaway has been open, but this one is a subscriber giveaway, so you have to be a subscriber, and you can just write in there, I'm a subscriber. That's all you have to write, and I'm just going to look for the word subscriber. One of these days, I'm going to ask you guys a fun question or so, because I always like those. All right, the 2 bags that I have done for sale, like I said, they're $30 and include shipping. One is a French general bag, so front, back. This is directional, so it's, you know, it has a seam up here. You can't see it. That's so that people don't sit upside down, and it has a seam down here, so these are right side up. And this is the inside. It shuts with Velcro, which looks to be crooked, but you know, that's one of my signature moves is crooked Velcro. And there's a little fleur-de-lis on there. Anyways, cute bag. I don't know what the dimensions are, to be honest, but everything fits that needs to fit in it. I mean, not a big old 11 by 11 Q-snap, but a regular 8 by 8 will fit in there, and your pattern and stuff. So this is bag number 1. And it's just the first one that tells me I want bag number 1. You can get in touch with me via Instagram, which I am HurryMom26. It'll be down in the comments. That's bag number 1. Bag number 2 is it's the upholstery fabric. So I gave it a trial run. It is not perfect. It's a nice bag. I mean, it's super sturdy. It's a nice bag. The button's missing. I have some button options I'm contemplating, and I haven't put any Velcro on. So there's like a white button. Let's see, I brought all my buttons down that I thought would work well with this. There's a wooden button. There's, I like this one actually. Ooh, a black kind of, I can't see the swirl in there. Black swirly button. Let's see here. I actually like this one as well. I don't know which way it goes. This button, the 2i button. They have to be of a certain size. This is a little bit bigger bag if we compare. So if I put that on there, it's substantially bigger. But that's how I was able to cut the pattern. And you see it's not matching. I mean, in order to do that, I would have to waste so much fabric, and I'm just not going to. It's charmingly wonky. A black button. What I also really liked was, these are just tied together, was attaching a button. This looks very German to me. Attaching a button here and there, and this using a ribbon to tie it shut. So whoever wants to buy this one, and it will also be Velcro. The Velcro's not on there yet. Can tell me what they prefer. So it's this. You can see the pattern back here. It's super interesting. Very alpine, moose, deer, elk, whatever it is. Anyway, so not a perfect bag because the seam happened to land right here. Don't ask me how that happened, but it did. And I sometimes, I don't know why it does that. And that's the inside. So the lining, anyways. But $30 and I will send it to you. And it goes to either Open Doors or Pearls of Heaven. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, on to the next little bit of program. I won't show you too many because I think we're almost at an hour. So I will show you 5 of my samplers that I pulled out that I have to stitch in my lifetime. Anne Smith, 1767, from the Scarlet House, Scarlet Letter. This is my Adam and Eve obsession, and the colors are so pretty, and it's a major sampler. There's some floss in here already. All of these, almost all of them have floss. Sarah Brignell, 1769. This is a V&A sampler, and I really wanted to go to that museum when I was in London, but it stormed so badly, it was a no-go. But that border alone, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, and I love the color. So again, I'm just like a red, pinky green, but here are some of the colors. That's number 2. Number 3 is Frances Eden, and I've had this for a long time. This little fella intrigues me. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody's figured it out yet, but here are the colors. And that's none, 2, 3. Isabella Fox. Yes, ma'am. Love her. Is that a striped deer laying down? She's great. She's lovely. GGR. And number 5, is another GGR. And she is so pretty. So pretty. Is Virginie Grimaud, 1845. As soon as look at her. It's an altar sampler. So as soon as I finish Oh, I forgot her name. I've got Victorine Delacroix on my mind, but that's not her. It'll come to me. It's right on the tip of my tongue. The other altar sampler that I'm stitching, the French one, she's up. And here are various colors I pulled. Okay, that's number 5, and I have a huge stack laying here, and we'll just continue on the next video, which will probably be in a month unless something miraculous happens and I find my turbo needles, and I have lots to show you. But I hope to show you FFOs next time, and you never know, I might really get productive. My husband's leaving for 3 weeks. He's going to the States. Not my favorite thing, but he's going to go visit the boys, which is my favorite thing. So I thought it was important for him to go while it was possible for him to go. And I hope he gets to come back. It's not for sure. Somebody asked me, well, don't you want to visit the boys? I do. I would love to visit my 2 boys and also my daughter in Washington, D.C. But we have the dogs, and I am not risking us getting stuck over there and the dogs being over here. So I'm staying. It'll be a quiet 3 weeks. It'll be a little lonely, I think. I think by the end, I'll be pretty ready. I mean, yeah, I got my friends here, but, we're not doing much these days. But it'll give me lots of time to stitch, and I plan on doing some major, in German you call it Ausmisting. So that's when you muck out the stall. That's what it's called. So I'm going to Ausmist my house, some of it anyways. I'm just in the paring down mode. Yeah, so that's my next 3 weeks is work, dogs, stitching, and Ausmisting. And I think a lot of wine. Not excess. I drink a glass in the evening. That's it. Anyways, and I do enjoy it. All right, my friends. I just send you many blessings. I thank you for subscribing. I thank you for the comments. I urge you to wear your mask. We have a reasonable amount of cases here. They're under 500. They tend to be more around the 300 level in all of Germany. And yes, we don't have the population that the US has, but we have a fairly high population and we're very dense. So everybody's very close together. And everybody is mandated to wear the mask. And so we do. And it seems to really cut the transmission rate. It doesn't eliminate it, but it sure cuts it. So just stay safe, but be bold. And keep on stitching beautiful things. Until I see you again, stay happy, healthy, and terrific. Bye.